All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alliance Live Show 107. We're ready to rock and roll. We've got some things to discuss. There hasn't been a lot of news, really, in the game the last couple of weeks. It's been kind of quiet. I guess that has to do with the fact that we did just get a bunch of new content recently. You know, we got the territory battles. We had all these characters. I mean, we got kind of flooded with a lot of stuff at the beginning of this year, up until about a couple of months ago, right when, GOTB and the Grand Arena Championships dropped. So it was expected to have a little bit of a lull between content, but I'm sure they're going to be releasing some new stuff. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit today, the light side GOTB. So we'll dive into that. But first, before we get to that, let me go ahead and introduce the co-hosts, of course. My good buddy, good old Maurice. How you doing, my friend?
What's up, guys?
Maurice and...
Let me fix my camera there. There we go. How's everybody doing?
Good. How's your weekend going?
Pretty good, man. It's over now, but it was good.
It's over now. I'm also joined by Avinash. How you doing, Abby?
I'm doing great. Good to be here.
Excellent. And from the Reality Skewed Gamers and host of the Jedi Academy live stream on Saturdays, we have RangerJ1999. How you doing, buddy?
Guten Tag. I'm here to hold your lightsaber. Where is it?
So,
whip it out. Quit playing with me.
So, before we talk about the GOTB, we did recently get the Malak event back, right? So, Malak came back for 3 days, right? So, I mean, really a small window of time in comparison to a lot of the other legendary type events that come back. I mean, this is a little bit different than a typical legendary event, so I guess they can, kind of do that. Was it 3 days the first time?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same as it was the first time. So they didn't shorten it.
Don't think so. I mean,
so did anybody get Abby? Did you get a Darth Malak on one of your accounts?
Yes, I did. The very last one.
Okay, good.
And it was still a bear to do.
It was still
I
hard?
almost forgot how to do it.
So it was still hard.
It was still hard. I was kind of at a point to be able to complete it. Sort of like last time when we first started doing it without all the boost to like the geos and all, to the characters that we can do now. So I was still kind of stuck in that old mode in trying to get them to 17.5K, I think it was, that they had to be at. That was interesting.
All right, excellent. Well, that's...
Sorry. I thought you were going to say more. Go ahead. I was still thinking of your lightsaber. It confused me. I I spent a ton of time with the Malak event. I'm sure you did too, Bill and Maurice, just helping people get it right.
Mhm.
Everybody put out a video and stuff, but a lot of our fans and people in the community were just having a tough time. So I was literally getting on calls, Zoom calls, whatever, and just walking people through it. I did that for quite a few people. To where it's like, okay, I've got the characters, I'm just not getting it. And then every time I went in there, one shot, one kill, and they were so happy. It made me happy because like, you don't know how many times. I'm like, brother, have you never seen one of my streams when I go for these things? I do know what you're talking about because I did it way before you did. So,
We didn't have any guides. We were in the day just right when it came out, just struggling with it.
Yeah. And you know, so without, I personally didn't think I already had Malak, but it was about getting as many people as possible, you know, to get that character. And some people got it from the videos. Few were just struggling not. They just were missing something, and I would watch and be like, no, okay, stop, don't do that. Yeah, so that's where my time was. The last few days been very busy. That reminding people and streaming. So,
well, I mean, after helping me through on my stream, I mean, hashtag remod. Yeah. After getting me through it on my stream, I'm sure people were knocking down your door to get advice on how to do this.
Yeah, and we put out our video with the Van Seals.
Right after your video, exactly. I mean, after basically being the go-to guy for this event, I mean, like, you know, people got to be hitting you up on Discord all over the place.
Oh yeah, they were, and I was happy to help each and every one of them. So I mean, that's what we do, right? This is what this community is. Why I love it. We all help each other. Well, Remon doesn't do anything, but I know Good on Maurice and Avalanche.
What was cool about this event?
Snap!
Obviously, like you made a video. You guys made a video. I guess you said it's Van Seal's approach to it.
Yeah, that was the Van Seal strat.
Yeah, the Van Seal strat. You know, TMoney put out a video that helped a lot of people. You know, Arnold's got one, Cubs got one. Everyone has one, and they're all different, which makes this event so cool. Like, it's this event really was cool.
Well, I think we all had a different experience with it, right? Because I know Arnold, God bless him, he did that for what, 8 hours?
Yeah,
he barely got it with T3 at the end. He pulled it out of his ass. I mean, I've never seen Arnold that frazzled before in any of his streams ever than the Malak event. So yeah, it is interesting. I mean, it comes down to two things for the light side. You control the robots, and then you burn them down with armor shred. Now, if you don't have Zalbar, then it's a different strat probably, but that's just the basic gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
For the Van Seal strat, it's about control. It's not like the dark side where you just ramp up your rev and go, wee, one shot. The light side, you have to set it up to where you can get through him doing his big health pulls and stuff at the end. And once you get that figured out, then you're pretty much good. It's interesting. I did watch some of the other videos, and it was interesting, as you said, GOM, like all the different ways, subtle things, right, that, you know, people did, right?
Yeah, and I know when it came out, the very first night, I know, like, we were streaming it, Urza was streaming it, Sir Loki, I think, was trying it on y'all's channel, and all of us, I think, ended up beating it with something completely different. Like, no one used what the other person would use. I mean, because we can't watch each other, you know what I mean? So, like, it's all three of us did it differently, and I'm sure there was dozens of other people streaming it that night too. But it was fun. It was a good time. It was a good.
I know. I still can't believe Loki talked me into that. Hey, Brad, I'm going to do this at 3 a.m. What? Well, it'll only be midnight my time, you son of a...
Yeah, it was...
bastard.
That was an interesting day at work the next day.
Oh, my
I went
God.
to sleep at like 6:30.
That first Malak, oh,
Yeah.
my God. So I stayed up, basically, did the 3 hour... Just sitting there with Loki trying to figure out. He got lucky. We got it for him. Then I took a quick nap. Then we had the lunch stream. Then I did mine, and then took another quick little rest. And then after that, because after the 3 hours of me trying to get it, and after the lunch stream, I was pretty much gone. But then I still had to. I got a little bit of rest because then I went on Mist Passier's stream and helped him get it, and then explain the strategy and stuff. So yeah, that day was like a blur, dude. I mean, I thought I was going to lose my mind. I'm like, oh my God, I have to see this event one more time. I remember you, Abby, you were pulling your damn hair out.
Oh my
You don't have
god.
those accounts.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, it's like I had 10 accounts at the time to do. And I was up to the last 2 hours of the event to try to get the last one. And I got it. And a lot of those accounts are gone now. And I got down to 3 and now I'm up to 7 at the moment. And so I was just helping one of the people that is going to get the alt. And I just made sure I got Malak for them before I gave it to him because I didn't want them to stress about it. But then I was like, yeah, well, that was just stupid of me. And it was like kind of like I had a V8 moment where you smack your forehead, And you're like, why?
Yeah.
Why am I putting myself through this again?
You like pain and suffering. I feel it in you, Evan.
I guess so. So, oh my God. Ugh.
But yeah, well, that's the great thing about this community. You've got so many sources now. I think that's why we do what we do. Because back in them good old days, good old Maurice and Abby, you remember back them days we didn't have any stream going on. We just had to figure this stuff out in Discord.
Yep.
Is Ramon still there?
He said he had to go pee.
Oh, okay. I'm like looking at the screen.
He had to go do something with his lightsaber. It's awful.
Me bouncing around, and I was like, "Oh, we should have discussed Malak
Welcome.
a long time." It's like, "Oh, because Ramon's not here, we're stalling."
Okay.
So, all right, that's what we're. Okay, now what's going on?
Okay, he's gone. Now we can talk about him.
Ach,
Yeah,
du
they're saying,
Lieber.
saying in the chat that the Fleet Arena feat is bugged. I don't
Yes.
know.
Is it?
Yes, because
Yeah.
it was for GAC?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm looking at
it
mine.
says Fleet Arena, but it actually counts for
Oh.
regular arena, shard arena, squad arena.
Oh, is that what it is? Because mine
Yeah.
looks fine, but I mean, I probably did 3 fleet battles, and I also did 3.
Yep, it's not counting fleet battles; it's counting arenas, regular arenas.
Okay, well there you go, Felipe.
So
Maybe
wait, it's only counting. Wait, what is it not counting? It's just counting the fleet arena.
It says it's supposed to be counting fleet arena. It's the feet, but actually it's squad arena.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, 'cause
not
mine-
doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why. I was wondering what the hell was going on. I just noticed that. I just looked at mine. I'm
Okay.
like, wow.
Well, that's the thing about these feats. We've all done one of these now, and everyone should realize that it's not a rush to do these feats. Like if you
No,
beat them,
there's no
the other
rush.
one doesn't pop up. You're gonna get the feats regardless. Like you could have all the feats stack up in your inbox. You get the whole time limit to do it. There's not a rush. Like I'm like there are people
Right.
that already get like the 15 arenas done. Like they refresh twice just to get the feat. Like guys,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
Yeah.
there.
and they're climbing in arena, and you're like, "What in the world are you doing, walking all over us 15 hours before your payout, dude?"
Well, I say this because I was doing this last tournament. Like I'd make a questionable call to try to get an undersized squad done, but in actuality, I had 5 more tournaments to get those done. Like I was just rushing to do it, and it's not. I
Mhm.
guess I was secretly scared that I wouldn't I'd miss out on one, but now we know that.
I don't even pay attention to it. I have no idea what feats I've done or not done. I don't care.
Well,
I hear heavy breathing. That must mean Ramon has come back from the said bathroom.
yes. Welcome back.
I am.
I hope everything came out okay. It's funny because he was peeing.
I'm back.
Yeah. Hey, you want to mute your mic next time, man?
I did mute my mic. You guys just can hear me.
Sound like World War II in there, Remo. What was going
Just
on?
kidding, man. Yeah.
They can hear.
Badger up in there.
I'm muted to them, but you guys can still hear me. So
I thought about turning on my kitchen faucet.
I literally clicked the button to go live, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, oh man. I was like, I really have to go, and I literally every time we were about to do a show, I always say, guys, if you have to go to the bathroom or do anything, like now's the time. And it was like literally like right as I clicked the button and the song started playing, I was like, how am I going to do this? And
When you gotta go, man.
So,
I've done that
so
before
I
in the
just,
stream, I'll be right back.
yeah. So it's part of life, but
that's what a live stream is for.
That's nice.
But yeah, so it was funny. But I mean, Yeah. So the next topic I wanted to talk about a little bit was the GOTB. So, I mean, again, we don't really have much news going on, so there's not much new things to discuss. I know, obviously the Malak event happened, but besides that, there really hasn't been much new things that have occurred. We did get a new live producer, senior producer in the game, to replace Carrie. Good luck to her in her new endeavors. But we did get a new producer. So, what's the name of the new producer?
Mark something? Dickerson, something like that.
Mark Dickerson. So Mark Dickerson has... Mark Dickinson has...
The cousin of the famous Bruce Dickinson. He needed more cowbell. It's crazy.
He has our SWGOH destinies in his hand. So hopefully he carries on. Hopefully, now that he's been passed the torch, he carries on the long tradition of goodwill.
I wasn't sure what you were going to say there. I was waiting for something.
I was a little worried myself.
The long tradition of goodwill. But no.
What are we passing here? What the hell's going on?
Passing the torch, man. So
that's what we call it now. Oh, you did the things.
So. Besides that, though, I mean, I do feel as if, Geo Lightside TB is on the horizon. And there's several reasons to think that, okay? I mean, obviously, we've now had quite a few times to do the Dark Side TB. Most people, at least at the higher tier of guilds, are getting to that point now where they've spent the money or the energy that they need to get the two teams really relevant for this Dark Side TB to Gear 12, Gear 13. So a lot of people, again, I'm not saying, the average player, but I'm saying a lot of people that are spending in this game are getting now, have their, Geonosis Brood Alpha Gear 13 or Gear 12 and their whole Geo team Gear 12, and then a lot of those people also have the Separatist droids now at Gear 12, Gear 13, and even some free-to-play players as well, that just utilize their resources correctly, that know what they're doing. But so it's around that time, I think, where the next grind is going to be set in front of us. And also, there is that discussion that we had last week on the show about Episode 9 and the fact that there is this new content coming. They're going to probably introduce a new version of Rey. They're probably going to have another Legendary event. I mean, who knows if that's going to happen right when the movie comes out. I mean, they may have the movie come out, and then it may happen a month or two later. I don't know. But all I know is that we're definitely going to get some content for Episode 9. And probably something else. I mean, maybe a new raid, maybe something else before the end of the year. So before they do their end of the year push or end of the year content, I think they're going to drop this Geo Lightside TB. And I have to think that we're probably looking at, I would say around the beginning to middle of September. I think would be around a good about time for that to happen. And when that happens, I mean, there's going to be a whole bunch of, characters are going to have to grind out. I mean, we're hearing, I saw a video that Arnold T101 put up the other day where there was some data mine information about 3 of the clones. Remember they said that the clones, some of the clones selected specific, not all the clones, but some specific clones that they were selecting were going to get reworks, okay? And some of the data mine information showed that there were going to be packs available for Echo 5s and Rex, right? So the members of the 501st, right?
That is correct.
Yep. So all the members of the 501st are going to be. So, I mean, do you think that, first of all, that? What are your guys' thoughts? I mean, when do you think this GOTB is coming?
Same time frame you said. I mean, I've been saying beginning of September was my guess, because it'll go for 2 months into November. And then November, December is when we're starting the stuff for the new movie.
I think they're going to come out in the fourth quarter.
So that'd be October?
Yeah, I think maybe October, November.
Okay, so you think Lightside is going to be pushed back to October, November? Okay, cool.
I think so. I think they need to give time for the dark side for a lot of people. Granted, a lot of the higher guilds are doing pretty well with it, but there's still a lot of people still working on a lot of stuff. And I think they're going to stretch that out a little bit to give people time to work on some of their dark side stuff. Because if they slam any light side territory battles out right now, people are just going to scream. They really are. It's because they're having a hard enough time with the current one. The light side one is just going to drive them nuts.
I think the opposite. I think some of these top
Money,
guilds,
money.
I think they're destroying this TB way quicker than CG anticipated. And they're kind of expediting the release of light side TB just to keep the heavy spenders, big guilds, competing and spending. Because I mean, the guild's already getting 31, maybe 32 stars now. I'm not sure. 31 for sure. They only got 2 more stars to go, and they released these posts.
Yeah.
Initially.
Didn't they say that? Yeah, it was going to be like maybe 24, 25 at the very most that anybody was going to get. And everybody exceeded that.
Everyone did. We did inside. We exceeded, like, they were like, the very best guilds only get 24 stars. I'm like, oh, yeah, made a wager on our stream and lost. Because I was like, oh, you guys will never get that many stars the first time. Sure enough, they got like 1 or 2 more than I guess. So
yeah, I hit 30 this time, so we're pretty happy about that.
So it's going to be coming relatively soon, right? So we all agree on that. Now, when this comes, obviously there's some attention that's going to be drawn to these clone characters. We also have the Disney streaming service coming out around that time. Probably going to be dumping a whole bunch of new episodes of the Clone Wars as soon as that drops. So there'll be, some stuff going on with that, I'm sure. But what do you think they're going to be doing? Why do you think they specifically chose the 501st characters for the reworks? I mean, do you think they're going to be giving them like a 501st tag? And maybe this could be related to something with Anakin, because obviously we know Anakin's 501st that was its Vader's fist, so what do you think?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're going to tag or not, but I mean, the data mine did show those 3 characters getting some sort of pack in the store soon. It's a data mine. It's not set in stone, but that's a pretty dead giveaway that those 3 specific clones are going to get, tickled with, tweaked and whatnot. So,
do you think it means an event for like corrupted or dark side, Anakin? Do you think
could be the Malak event they were talking about in the Q&A? They have another Malak style event coming down the. What do
you think he'll be called? Do you think he'll be like Dark Side or Padawan Anakin, Dark Side Anakin? Do you think it'll be Order 66 Anakin?
I hate sand. Its coursing gets everywhere, Anakin.
Who knows?
Mildly perturbed Anakin.
Youngling killer Anakin.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out with as many, some of these characters as they possibly can. A lot of them reworks. Who knows? We'll have entire factions on both sides, both light and dark, with the same character, just different versions.
Liquid hot magma Anakin.
Liquid hot magma Anakin. Yes. Fallen Anakin. That could wear Fallen Anakin. I think that would probably be the way to go. Or Anakin, Padawan Anakin Fallen. Right? Or Anakin Fallen.
Yeah.
On the council, but not a Jedi Master, Anakin.
How could you be a master and not be on the Jedi Council? Or how could you be on the council and not be a master?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was fear in that boy. Anyway, I think that...
I sense much fear in you.
I think that there will be... I think that they're going to be tied to an event for Anakin. That's my thoughts. And I think that he'll be called Lord Vader from Minato Namikaze.
The fourth Hokage has spoken. It must be so.
Do you think that's possible? Lord Vader?
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, at this point, we're
Thank you for the donation, by the way.
speculating. I mean, nobody knows. You know, we're just putting out fun ideas, so you have an idea of like.
No, Ranger knows.
I'm under an NDA, so leave me alone. Don't ask it on Maurice. He's under one too. I know for a fact that's the law. Say me.
Maurice.
I don't know damn things. I don't know anything. So.
And if you did, you can say anything. Say me.
Yep. I'm under
don't let
NDA
that comment mislead you. I don't know anything.
Spill the beans. Spill the beans, Maurice.
I don't know anything. I missed the last couple participation. I don't really get the participation award in those. So
now that Carrie's not the senior producer anymore, we should start probing her for questions on Twitter.
I'm sure she'd really enjoy that.
I'm sure she'd love to break her contract. Sure, I'll get sued for you, Maurice.
Just start sending out emails like, listen, we know that you don't care anymore, so just tell us what's going on, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, she probably had to sign papers that says you will still not.
I'm sure she did. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
hey,
but
girl,
we
I'm afraid to
wish.
spill the beans.
We wish, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that they're doing 501st for a reason. I mean, that was Vader's crew. Those were his stormtroopers. So I think that it'll be related to Anakin in some way, and I think that they're going to. Those are the characters that are going to get the rework, and I think that those characters are going to make the whole team not just important for the light side GOTB, but I think that that's going to be possibly a pretty decent. I mean, depending on obviously how good the reworks are, I think that could possibly be a pretty decent team for TW and GA. I mean, you know, Rex, if they don't tinker with him too much, like let's say they give him an upgrade but not a complete overhaul, because Rex as he is pretty good. I mean, I would like to see them maybe make some tweaks but still keep his base kit there but just add to it, you know what I mean? Like that would be cool. And then they make him maybe like, you know, a little bit, you know, maybe they add some extra perks that make him a better specific leader for the clones in general, right? And you know, and then we could possibly be seeing, you know, again, I don't think we're going to see a clone meta, but I think we could see, you know, a pretty decent either defensive or offensive team for GOTB, but also for Territory Wars and Grand Arena.
Well, they've already got the lead in Shock T. Like Shock T, that team is just one character away from spectacular. You know, like it's really, really good. It's just it doesn't quite have the oomph. It's either missing a taunt that you don't have to physically like, you know, you don't have to target fives. Like it's missing a taunt. They're missing some survivability. But maybe just some sort of element they could add to each of these characters, make them a little bit tanky, make them regenerate, maybe more like amp up Echo's unique, or you know, just do some sort of.
They just need damage. My God,
that too.
Yeah,
so awful.
Yeah,
even with Shock T, you're just like, oh Lord.
Clone Sergeant is like a boss, but the rest of them, it's just.
I know, but the rest of them just don't do anything. I mean, Clone Sergeant. I mean, it just, and they're too squishy, even with everything else. I mean, they just.
They do big damage, but it's like in small increments. Like Cody's is like 11K, 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 and just Barris just eats that alive. She's like, yes, please. Like it's impossible to kill crew with the clones.
Yeah.
that's a major problem.
I mean, GR's like, oh, that's sweet. Look at
you just like tap it. Just tap him, and he just doesn't. He doesn't die. So
do you think? Do you think we're most Def Isley suggested that maybe we'll get Pawns? You think we'll get Pawns?
Pawns would be really cool underneath the Cody lead, because you can mark. You could just constantly target that character.
Yeah,
I like Pawns a lot.
What about this? Okay, I'm just spitballing here again. I'm just putting my tinfoil hat on. But what if they release Pawns and clone Sharpshooter, like he suggested, or another clone? Okay,
maybe Arc. Maybe
Arc. Maybe it's that really old clone trooper from that one episode, 99. Maybe it's 99. You know, but 90.
I've brought grenades.
Oh yes.
Maybe it's
99. Okay, yes.
But you know, they released 2 new clones that you have to grind, okay, and then they rework Fives, Echo, and Rex, which you know, I agree, Nathaniel Morgan. I mean, but as far as that goes, I think that it's clear that they're going to rework Rex, even though, you know, we don't. Well, let's just hope that they don't, you know, destroy him.
Right.
But because, you know, hopefully they just that's why I'm saying leave the base kid alone. But I think that they're going to rework. I think they're going to, you know, I just think that, you know, his leader ability as it is, it still has relevance at some point. I think one day when things change, I think he may. I mean, his leader ability will still benefit other teams. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Rex will always turn. You know, Rex will always come back into the meta at some point. I'm sure that day will come.
I would anticipate his kit getting completely overhauled, but it doesn't mean freak out. Like, everyone was like really pissed off when they changed Ace K's lead, and then they came out with this, you know, some of these other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
Like,
yeah.
Well,
You know, like, I mean, that's why they made B1 not be able to crit. Like, they're just like the old leaderships they often don't work with the new characters or the new. That's why they kind of stealthily nerf Spy without telling us, because, you know, they were trying to tweak it out and figure that out. Like the old dated leaderships and stuff don't really seem to work with a lot of the new characters. So characters are getting, you know, reworked, really, A, to make them more viable, and B, just so they'll interact with the newer characters. With all the, like,
of course they nerf Spy, right? Like, after buying that Erodian pack like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, but they
didn't do anything. Yeah, I know. I understand.
If he got 70% turn meter anytime a Geonosis debuffed, he would take 4 turns every other character's 1. And
right, and that would actually make him worth the freaking $40 that I spent on him 3 years ago.
That would make the Geonosis unbeatable. They would be unbeatable if like whoever had the fastest Brood Alpha or the fastest Poggle wins every battle.
Yeah,
if Spy didn't get touched. Like,
I want that.
But no, what I'm saying is that I think that they reworked those 3 clones. They released 2 brand new clones that you have to grind, and then bang, Anakin event, right?
I think that's a good.
You underestimate me, my power.
Yeah.
Order 66. All right, here's Pawns and 99. Here, the Dark Side Anakin event will be next week.
Yep. There you go. We've placed them on Cantina 8B and 8C for you guys to farm. Like, oh, great.
Yippee!
Yeah.
That's how it'll be. You know, so that's kind of what I think is going to happen. You know, but we will see. I mean, it's still a bit early. I mean, but I think that usually they leave breadcrumbs for us to find the way, kind of like Hansel and Gretel. Okay, and you know, the breadcrumbs have been dropped for the Malevolence. I mean, we knew that was coming, and it did make its way into the game, and albeit not as an ownable character yet, but we see that it's coming. Okay, they've left the breadcrumbs for this now. So I mean, I think that that's the way they're going. I mean, they're pretty. They want to surprise you, because they want to kind of keep you thinking, because that's the point. But they also don't want. They want to, you know, make it. They want the expectation to be met sometimes. Like, they want, you know, for, you know, what people are kind of theory crafting to actually happen. You know, so they do leave lots of clues, and if you figure it out, you can kind of catch the meta in advance, or, you know, start farming characters a little bit early to make some good decisions in advance, so that you're not having to play the catch-up game later on. And I said a while back, I mean, I wish I had started working on the clones a while back, because now I think that that's going to totally happen. I mean, I know obviously I had to focus on the Separatists, so I mean, there was no choice but to do that. But I mean, you know, I should have found a way to, you know, to put a little bit of time into the clones on the side and slowly gear them up, because now I think it's going to happen faster than you guys think. So you know, if I were you, Echo, Fives, and Rex, if they're not gear 12 and ready to rock and roll, I would, you know, slowly start working on those characters, and you know, be ready to farm 2 new characters, because I think that's what's going to happen. That's just my feeling. But, you know, I can be wrong. So, anyway, so that's kind of our discussion here about Lightside GOTB and when that's coming. I do want to jump into the top 5 so we can get through that, and then we'll do a lengthy Q&A segment. So any of your questions that are in the chat now, if you guys do want to have any questions answered in the Q&A segment, where we're kind of doing open live Q&A. That's what's going to happen after the top 5 and the meta report. So type those questions into the chat now, and we'll answer them later. Also, if you have any topics you want to discuss, you can throw that into the chat as well. All right, so moving along here, we are going to take a look at the meta report as it stands 35 minutes ago to 40 minutes ago. So, there's 6 Darth Treyas at rank 1.
Look at 88 passing Padme. That's what I'm talking about.
That's your boy.
Yeah, IG88, number 3 on the list. Nice. He's catching Jedi Knight revenue. He is making steady progress up to number 2 leader in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. This is quite possibly the best meta of my entire life.
So we were talking a little bit about this last week, and then we kind of discussed it a little bit today when we were offline, before the stream started. We were kind of talking about Arena and where it's at right now, and I don't know, I feel like Arena died a while back. I mean, I think that, it's ever since they started having these characters that just dominate the meta.
Yeah.
You see, so a while back, there were always meta leaders and always characters that were at the head of the meta. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that dates back to the beginning of the game. But they were more random, and it really had more to do with, once the character went out into the wild, after people got their hands on it, they were able to figure out interactions with that character, sometimes outside of its faction, that made that character work well, like the Poe meta and the Qui-Gon Jinn meta, and those people that, put together the counter teams. I remember Ewok used to run that counter team with 5s and Count Dooku, and he ran an Imagundi lead with Ayla Secura, and
those days are done. Let's live in the present.
But what I'm saying is, it allowed you to sit down and kind of put your theory crafting hat on and think about some different things, and that's kind of gone. You really have your teams put together already, for you. They decide what teams you're going to run.
We're being forced to use a certain faction or a certain meta. You have no choice.
They know that these characters are going to work together. That's why they're singling out all the factions. That's why they put the Sith Empire tag on there, because they know that people would have figured out some different variations of Sith teams to put out there that would have broken something in the game. So what they said was, no, only these 5 Sith or these 6 Sith work together, and that's it. So you can't use all the Sith together. And that's the way they do it, I honestly, it kind of stinks. It kind of stinks. I wish that that there was a way to kind of theory craft teams still and have fun with thinking about teams. That was my favorite part of the game, was trying to find some random team that nobody else thought of and put it out in Arena, and people be like, what is he thinking? And it works, And it's sometimes you miss, sometimes you start working on a team and it doesn't work out. And, it didn't work out the way you thought it would in your head, But sometimes you strike and you find gold, and then everybody's copying you in the Arena, right? Because they all want to have the same team. And that was fun, what I'm saying? And they, it's now it's like I said, they're force feeding you your meta, and they've become so good at being able to create a meta themselves. At the beginning of the game, like I said, that every characters were all over the place. I think that they were less aware of how to make a meta character at that time. They basically had, they had a Geonosis soldier was the best character in the game, and the First Order TIE pilot. You had, Poe Dameron. You had all these characters that were kind of randomly just the best characters in the game, because they went out into the wild and people figured it out, But now they've, brought in beta testers. They've brought in people that do, balancing at the studio. They have a much bigger team now, obviously, because they're making a lot, they made a lot more money from the beginning than they are now, and the game has been successful, which is a great thing. And I do love that the kits are interesting, and they do come up with some cool mechanics, and they are coming up with, they're releasing awesome characters, right? I mean, these are characters that we've always wanted, so I'm happy about this stuff, but it'd be cool if I could put together like Jedi Knight Revan and Visas Mar and and put together like in Wampa and come up with some team that just works and it's fun and you could win an arena with it, and you cannot do that right now. It's just like and that sucks. I mean, that kind of sucks. I got to be honest with you. That's really what kills the arena right now, because they are going to choose right now Revan to dominate the arena for the next, however long they want it to happen. And then at some point, maybe when the new Rey comes out, they'll they'll shift the meta to that character, and they'll do it on purpose, and that'll be the meta forever until the next character. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, they're going to continue to control it like that, and I mean that just kind of makes the arena less interesting. And unfortunately,
well, they don't care about the arena because they want to push toward all your squads being viable. That's the reason why we're seeing this. I think the next characters that come out might be OP, they may not be, but it's more about building out your entire squad to have to use it, and they want to focus more on GAC. And I think Arena is dead because they just don't want to do it anymore. It's just, they've done it to themselves.
Yeah.
And so, but that's just the way it's going. But Arena is just Arena. But as they go more into your whole roster thing, that's where it'll change a little bit. But and you may get some teams like that. But really, they're also, with the way they're setting up teams now, to work together in conjunction with one another. I doubt we're never going to see that again either. Even in GAC, a lot of the teams we put together are squads that work together because they set up all the leadership and bonuses to be for those squads, whether it's Geo, First Order, Bounty Hunters, etc. So. Well, those days are gone.
But being able to put those teams out there in Arena is what made people competitive. It's what made people drive to want to beat each other. Now, because everybody's running the same team, everything is coordinated. Nobody even plays Arena anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
We don't have fun playing Arena, but we still play Arena.
What I'm saying is, you have, most people have like some Char chat, and they arrange their payouts, and that's not what I did when the game first came out. And even when we did get in touch with each other, we still kept it competitive and talked smack to each other, and it was like part of it was like, oh, your team is so awesome, I want the same team, and it was great. It's just like, and I get it, get over it, it's done and past now. But I mean, it stinks reminiscing about like when the game was a little bit simpler, and you were able to put together some different, fun squads, and now that fun of it is all been taken out of your hands. Now they just decide for you like what you're going to have to run.
Exactly. They just kind of pushed you into that direction, and you've got no other choice. If you want those crystals, if you want to get that ranking, you have got to go with what they tell you to go with, instead of going with what you may have theory-crafted yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, so IG88, pumps his way up the list here. And we'll see. Eventually, I'm sure he'll take over Jedi Knight Revan as more people get, General Grievous to Gear 13. But if you combine all the General Grievous teams, IG88, HK47, and then General Grievous lead, they're a lot closer to Jedi Knight Revan than you think. The droids are pretty much, almost of equal presence as the Jedi are right now in the arena. So that's definitely there. But moving along to the top 10 squad members at rank 1. Again, not much shift here. Really just more and more use of Sith Marauder is really all I'm seeing. But other than that, it seems to be pretty much just the same 10. Grand Admiral Thrawn, still probably the best character in the game. So
right.
Somehow, you can always have a Grand Admiral Thrawn in there, and it works. But that is our meta report for this week. We're going to move along to the top 5. And this week we're going to be doing top 5 characters for light side Geonosis territory battles. Okay, so being that the topic of the day today is, the light side TB and when that's going to be coming, I think it's time to start, really thinking about what some of the best characters for that GOTB are going to be. Obviously, we know, they're all going to be light side characters, and we know that, the Galactic Republic characters are primarily going to be present and probably required for these events. But we're going to go ahead and rank them here. Who do we have at number 5? Good old Maurice.
Well, we know this next territory battle is going to be Galactic Republic oriented, right? So Anakin's gonna come in at number 5 here. Anakin, the one we have in the game, not any new one that we've speculated on tonight. Anakin he synergizes both a Jedi and a Padme Galactic Republic type team. Big damage. He has healing block and buff immunity on his basic attack, and then just the bonus turns. Lots and lots of bonus turns, especially if you pair him with something like a Barriss or a steady healer. He synergizes with Jolie. They can keep resurrecting people. He gets a lot of turns. So very good character to have. And ship side, it's more than likely the Negotiator is going to be required for this TB, and he probably has one of the very best Galactic Republic ships. So he is also a pilot. So very good character to have in your arsenal for everyday use.
Yeah. He is pretty much the pinnacle of the Padme squad. And, he's got, since his rework, pretty big buff. For a while there, a lot of people were trying to throw him in Sith teams and, other squads to use him as a 5th character, and it worked for a little bit. He's now, I think, just overall a much more relevant character in the game, not just for Galactic Republic or for the GOTB, but he's just better now. So, he makes his way higher up the overall list as well these days. And he's a ship captain, so he's got a really good ship, and, he's probably going to be pretty much required. He's going to be one of those characters like the Geonosians or the Separatist droids or the scoundrels or the bounty hunters. He's going to be one of those characters that's required. So I would definitely make sure you have this guy ready to go. That is our number 5 character for light side GOTB. Moving along to our number 4 character for light side GOTB, we have R2-D2. Okay, so R2-D2 obviously has multiple tags, so he's going to be relevant as a light side character for multiple different teams. You'll be able to use him for your Galactic Republic squads. You can use him with your Rebel squads. You can use him, with your CLS teams, of course, and you can even add him as a droid 5th if you really need to, even though there's really not that many light side droids out there that gain benefit from that. But C-3PO, BB-8, characters like that. Anyway, if we get some new Resistance characters, he'll probably be a good character to use with them. And bear in mind that there is probably new Resistance characters coming very imminently. So this character is one of the staples of the game. And, being able to stun with your basic attack and basically do a pseudo taunt with his smoke screen, he's just a great asset to have for the light side squads in general.
Revan, I was going to compliment you. I looked at your Jedi Anakin mods and I was like, I'm so proud of him. I got little guys growing up, and then I look at R2 and I want to pummel you.
Yeah.
Why do you do this, Revan? Is this intentional? Are you doing this shit on purpose now?
No. That's just a good old fashioned.
Do you not like R2-D2? Why would you do this to R2-D2?
I think that again, I don't think I've touched R2-D2's mods in quite some time.
But it's prevalent and obvious, yeah.
Maybe I plucked some.
Pretty important character. Top 5 days. Use them everywhere. Grab mods on.
So what do you think about him, Maurice?
Well, I think R2-D2 is one of the very best characters in the game.
Yeah.
Just in general, and especially Gear 13 guys. He's a very good Gear 13. Once you've got your arena team and maybe your secondary team done, do look towards him as an investment. He synergizes with the Galactic Republic. He synergizes with the Rebels, the Resistance. just like C-3PO has pretty much any light side character synergizes with him. That number crunch Zeta will give them all the stats. If you want to run him in TB, maybe if you run him in arena, you kind of want to go a little heavy offense and spread the offense and potency and stuff around. But in TB, you could really stack him with health if you want to throw him on a Padme team, or just loads and loads of protection. And he's going to spread that across your team. Very, very good. He'll be a great plug and play character for those of you that don't have to platoon him. So he'll be great for that. Just very, very good. And it will be a source of cleanse. The dark side TV isn't too heavy on the debuffs, but when you use light side characters, the next one, the dark side characters are traditionally the ones that land the massive amounts of debuffs. So you will need all the cleanse you can probably get against those characters. So we'll see.
All right, I went in my inventory and I replaced the mod for you guys. Okay, I just did it.
Whoa!
I just did it. All right, I put in another crit chance mod. This one is a 5 gold. Okay, with better statistics on it. But honestly, what happens here is occasionally I'll pluck like a crit chance mod or something like that for another character, and then I'll just slap in another mod. I don't know why. That kind of shocked me too. I'm looking at the 3 dot, But anyway. R2D2 is the man, okay, or the droid. So let's go on to our number 3 character for light side GOTB. Who do we have here, Maurice?
I don't know. I'm looking at the updated list. Is it Shak T?
It is.
Are you there? Yes. Yeah, I updated the list. I'm looking at the new one. I don't know what the old one is, so you'll have to call them out. But number 3, it is indeed Shak T. Ramon is super pumped about Shak T, as you can see here. No, but I'm just picking on him. Like, she's not farmable yet. She will be farmable soon, guys. And this is one you should get on. I was just messing with Ramon. There was really no reason to gear her up at 3 and 4 star right now. But she will be obtainable very, very soon for everyone. So this is one to keep in mind. Galactic Republic. So she will synergize with Padme. She's a Jedi tag. So she will synergize with all the various Jedi. If you guys haven't used Shak T in Jedi lineups, she's very, very good. She's great for your P2 Jedi Revan team. She's enhanced I replaced Jolie with her, and just that constant source of offense up. It's another assist, a faster assist than Jolie to bring in Grandmaster Yoda. She can actually increase your P2 scores pretty significantly once you get her rocking and rolling. Just for TB though, she is the clone leader right now, and this is, of course, we don't know what the new reworks are going to include, but she is going to be a big part of your clone team. Her whole kit synergizes with clones. She does give a little bit of tenacity to the Galactic Republic, but just really just the facilitator of the clone team at the moment. So she's going to be good, and I wouldn't be surprised if she is a TB specific character. Carrie alluded to multiple times in that Escape podcast interview that, hey, you will be happy that you've invested in her in the future. So I would expect for her to be one of the Grievous, the Dooku, the Poggle type of the light side, the mandatory characters that give you some sort of buff, hopefully. So,
yeah. I have not used her at all.
I mean, do you think that she would be a character that you could possibly put into a Jedi team, or or do you think you're going to want to save her for?
I like her in GR too.
She's good on the GR team. JKR team. Sorry. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's our number 3 character for light side GOTB. Moving along to our number 2 character, we have General Kenobi. So,
of course.
Why is General Kenobi here, Maurice? Why is he so high up on this list?
Because he's the man. He's Galactic Republic. He is going to be the fleet commander of the Negotiator, which will more than likely be mandatory.
I can't anymore.
What'd you say?
I can't look at this anymore.
Oh.
God, no! Why? Why did you do this, Maurice? I'm sorry, I rewound. I'm sorry, because I saw the boss. I'm like, what in the name of God?
Okay, so we lost him on the screen, GK, right?
Can we go back to GK and those wonderful mods?
No, Reba said I'm not listening to you guys tonight. He's number 2 on the list. Are you still with us, Ramon?
Ramon? Oh,
we lost GK on the screen, so we have to move on. No, that was legitimately an accident. I was actually typing into YouTube to comment back.
Right.
But
things happen, you know.
It happened.
Best light side tank. Yeah, he's better than Zalbar. I mean, best light side tank. He synergizes all the factions. Gets that buff. That crit immunity is going to be clutch. I wish we had some dark side form of crit immunity right now besides Shore Trooper. You know, like some more crit immunity would really be helpful on these territory battles we have now. You know, he's got a cleanse. He's got retribution. He's a monster under Padme. That Zeta makes him not only relevant with Padme, but there are a lot of light side characters that give protection up that he can kind of fuel off of. Some of the more obscure ones, you know, like Zeb and a couple of the Phoenix, and Jolie is a non-Galactic Republic that gives protection up. So there are ways to utilize that Zeta outside of a Padme team. So he's good. He hadn't made the list in a while, but he's back. He's going to be really, really good moving forward. So.
There he is. I figured out how to get it back. So there it goes. Yeah, no, I never set up the hotkey for going back on the slide, so that was my fault.
Oh.
But
well, you know, these things happen.
yeah, that's the thing. I have a hotkey for moving to the next slide. So when I type, I usually make sure not to type an N while I'm in the slideshow. But I made a mistake, and I said I said good night to somebody which has an N in it. So anyway. Yeah, so General Kenobi, obviously he's going to probably be the best tank on the light side. He's also going to be the best tank on the Galactic Republic squad. And being that they're going to be pretty much the cream of the crop for this GOTB, he definitely earns his place here. Cleanse, Retribution, Passive Taunt, Crit Immunity, couple that with the Padme leader, and you have a great character, absolutely. But that is our number 2 character for light side GOTB. Moving along to our number 1 character for light side GOTB. I'm pretty sure most of you guys guessed it. Who do we have here, Maurice?
Padme.
Yay!
And this is going to be probably a very, very high candidate for another mandatory character. Like Dooku, like, Poggle. So I would go ahead and count on her being pretty much required. She's tough, man. Get her ready. She's tough. She, as you can see here, Ramon, they take the cryotechs, and these characters take a very, very long time. So do put her at the top of your list, even if it's not for the light side TB. She gets so much out of that faction. It's a very, very good team. It can be modded a multitude of ways to take on any team in the game. What's up?
Why?
Why the offense mods?
Because those offense mods are double health and potency. Double health potency mods. So she's very good, guys. A very good character. The leader that you guys are probably. I'm trying to get through this, guys. Quick, keep God.
I had to mute for a second because
I can't help it. I apologize. Good old Maurice.
Ranger's
greatest leader for the Galactic Republic. And if you guys are facing the B1s, like, we don't know what the enemies on the other side are, but it's safe to assume that we're probably going to be seeing B1s. We're going to be seeing some Geonosians, and all these characters, all these factions attack out of turn so much that unique Zeta her is going to be just dynamite. So that's something to keep in mind. Do save a Zeta or two. If you guys just got her, if you're still working on those cryotechs, do plan on saving at least one Zeta for her, if not probably both. Very good character, and something. If you guys got her to 7-star B, be happy, be proud of yourselves, because that's she's going to change your roster big time. So
which Zeta do you think she? If you have one Zeta, for example, what should you go first?
I think if you're leveling her for TB, and we do see that the opposing team has a lot of attacking out of turns, I'd almost go for the unique first. But keep in mind, guys, if you Zeta the leadership, you've pretty much married yourself to the GK Zeta too. So do keep that in mind. Like putting the Zeta on her leadership is awesome, but make sure you have one for GK too, because he taunts significantly less if he doesn't have it. Just because when you do Zeta that leadership, you can no longer be crit when you have protection up, so Kenobi will never taunt. So do keep that in mind. You want both of those.
So Minato Namikaze has a question. He said, Ramon, saw your mods. One question, are you still playing the game? So, I mean, the thing about this is that, like, for example, like with Padme, I don't really put any work into a character unless I'm going to use them in some way. She's not ready to go yet, and I'm focusing on the stuff for the guild right now, really. So I'm really just trying to get the Separatist stuff done. I will, turn my attention to her at some point. Overall, I don't really the mods. I gotta tell you, like I not that I've given up on mods, but I've given up on mods. So I mean, like for the most part.
Wait a minute, you can't say it's not that I've given up on mods, but I've given up on mods.
What I'm saying, what I'm saying about that is like I get the mods that I get, and I pluck some mods out of the store periodically when I see them. But I don't like farm mods on a daily basis anymore.
Right.
And it's like one of those things where it definitely hurts, don't get me wrong, but I mean for the most part, the mods that you get, for the guild content, which is what really matters to me anymore in this game, is just the guild content, because again, I keep like around like a 30 to 20 rank in arena, maybe in that area somewhere. I don't really play competitively in arena right now. But what I'm saying is basically that, for the most part, just looking to keep the characters, geared up enough to win battles in like GOTB, things like that. But I mean, it depends. I mean, like, sometimes, something like sparks my interest, and I'll start farming, some mods periodically, or I'll start trying to get a specific set. But really, the sets that I get are mainly just like what's given to me from the events, or from get your act together, Ranger, and Remon. Yeah. All right. What? I mean, at this point, I think one of these days I'm just going to have to do it. But I mean, at that, if I remod my roster, then we'll have so much less interesting content to discuss during the top fives.
That's true.
I think that would be the real depressing thing.
Yeah.
You could do loadouts for them.
So Blaze has a question. He says, GK with Padme, who do you replace for Jedi Knight Revan?
Herman Yoda. You go offense with the team. And that team works very, very well. Jedi Knight Revan with Bastila, Jolie, Grandmaster Yoda, and Herman Yoda will still kick ass and take names.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Herbert Yoda's good, and Herbert Yoda actually, you plug him in the team, you can start beating Darth Revans relatively easily with him. So, not relatively easily, but it is an option.
Yes. I was gonna say not that easy.
If you like, a lot of people like to use Wampa with their Karth teams. Juani's not terrible. In that slot, if you have her, relatively well geared. Some people use Old Ben. I've never been an Old Ben.
I'm just not a big fan of the. I mean, Plo Koon works too on that team as well. Again, you just use them for offense. You control it, and when you can control a team, especially with that makeup, that's why it works so well.
Yeah, I'm a Ranger. Hermit Yoda. You want any character that has an assist. Ezra's not bad. Any character that, if you don't have GK, you might as well get some extra turns with Grandmaster Yoda. So yeah, Hermit Yoda's great. Ezra's got an assist. I mean, I guess you can use Qui-Gon if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it depends on what you got and what you're working with, but yeah.
Also, to be honest with you, I've been beaten into a pulp with the results from all the mods that I've leveled up in my life. It's like one of those things where, like,
we're talking about something else.
No, I'm just thinking about why I don't really mess with mods, because I mean, you got me thinking about it.
Well, it's overwhelming. Listen,
it's like I mean, I went like the first, like people were all getting these like 20 speed secondary mods, 25 speed secondary mods. I didn't get my first 20 plus speeds secondary mod until like mid last year, or like towards the end of last year. Like, I mean, it was like such a long time that I had to wait. And I mean, at first I was spending money. So I mean, I was buying mods like on the regular. I was buying, crit damage sets when they were very, very popular. I was buying, a lot of the mods and leveling them up and just hoping to get a good roll. And I never ever had good luck with mods. So it was like, it's like demoralizing, after you, yeah, we all suffer mod depression. That's true. But I mean, it's like,
yeah.
But I mean, if you go a year with, and you have all these people that are like, oh, I got 220 speed mods yesterday, and you're just like, yeah, that's great for you. Yeah, all right. And it's like, and then like you go through that for like 2 years, and you're like, man, I'm never gonna get a 20 speed mod. So it's like, it's just you just give up. You know what I mean?
No, but can't give up. You got to get in the trench. You got to get in that warfare. You got to get nasty. You got to get the blood and the guts. You got to remod. You got to do those mods every day, brother.
Listen, the real difference in competitiveness in this game right now is mods. That's really all it is. So, I mean, at the end of the day, your roster is important. Having the characters geared up and having them ready to go. But mod game in its own is just a whole separate ball game in this game, as far as that's concerned. There's an investment that you make for characters and shards. That's what most of us talk about, right? It's like farming the shards and the gear necessary to get characters ready to be into the events that we want to get into, to unlock the characters that we want to get. But to be competitive in TW, GA, and in Arena, and to be one of the better players in this game, it is completely turned into just all a mod game. So, I mean, it's been for a while, but what I'm saying is, like, there are so many people out there that spend so much more money than you on mods. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not ready to be that guy that farms and spends a lot of money on mods, it's tough to compete with those people. I mean, like, you have to consistently buy mods. And, like, I mean, and sometimes you get lucky. I mean, listen, but there are people that just pluck mods out and they spend, I mean, I know players that used to spend, hundreds of dollars a week on mods, if not thousands of dollars a week on mods. Remember back when you used to buy the mods with crystals? It's ridiculous. But it's half a mod game now, as much as anything else. But I mean, listen, there's a lot of theory crafting to go into teams too. As far as like, which abilities you're going to invest in, like which mods you're going to get for what sets. So I mean, I get that part of it, but it's like, so some characters don't necessarily need speed anymore. Speed is not quite as important as it used to be, but it definitely is very important. I mean, you have guys that have characters like Jedi Revan or Darth Revan at 340 speed. I mean, it's going to be really difficult to compete with that guy. You know what I'm saying? Because, he probably also has a ridiculous amount of speed on his Bastila and on his, all of his characters. So it's just something that you have to focus on. But if you decide that you're not going to, it's either I feel like if you're going to try to be competitive, you got to either go all in or just accept, what your role is. You know what I'm saying? And for a while I went all in, but now, I'm not really doing that because I love this game, but I also play other games too, so it's like, it's one of those things where, you gotta kind of do your investments in moderation and decide, what's really important. And for me, at this point, the most important things are all guild related, so for the most part, if I see that I need to invest in a character like B1, or I'll buy crystals to buy, shards for Geonosis Brood Alpha, for example. So, because my guild needs that. So, and then occasionally when a character like, Jedi Knight Revan or someone like that comes out, I'll spend someone to get that character too. But, it's got to be based on my particular wants and desires, and then also what's necessary for my team. And if I don't see something like that going on that I'm interested in, then I'm not going to invest, And I play the game because the way I want to, because I want to have fun. It's a game,
right.
And everybody enjoys it in their own way. So
what you're saying is you're just lazy.
No, listen. I used to be one of the most competitive players in this game in the world. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things where.
All right, calm down.
At the end of the day, it's one of those things where listen. If there was something that happened, like I said, one of the things that kind of bothered me about this game is the theory crafting part. I mean, if there were things that happened that changed in the game that would, make me want to push to get better mods because I want to put this team together, then that would change my outlook on it. But at the moment, that's not where I'm at. But that's our number one. Lazy. That's from that's Malia Bean. Yeah.
Get out of here. We got Malia Bean in the chat.
Malia Bean is in the chat. He's actually here in the flesh. Doesn't play the game for like a year and a half now, but does periodically check in on me, just to give me some crap in the chat. Gotta love that guy. No, he's probably the one of the best friends I've ever made in this. Because I'm glad
that's cool.
I'm glad I played this game because I got to meet that guy. He's an awesome dude, and I wish he was still here with us. I miss you, brother. But as far as that goes, that's our number one character for Lightside. Bro hug. Listen, I'd chest bump with you if I could digitally. All right, but that's our number one character for Lightside GOTB. We do have an honorable mention, and that is C3PO. So C3PO obviously has multiple tags. He's kind of in the same regard, or looked at in the same regard as R2D2, because he has so many tags. He can be beneficial in a lot of different ways. He's going to be beneficial to you possibly on some clone squads. He can be beneficial to you on a Padme squad. He can be beneficial to you on a CLS squad if you're just trying to get some light side nodes done. So on the nodes where he may be, who knows if he's going to be a required character or not, but on the nodes where he may be required, you'll have to put him with a specific team. But on other phases of the light side GOTV, you'll be able to use him with your CLS and other characters like that to get battles done. So, what are your thoughts about C3PO, Maurice?
Well, very similar to R2. It just synergizes with everybody you're going to be using. I think if you bring some tenacity down and you could use him on your rebel teams, those exposes are going to help a lot. You can see it in the dark side when we're currently facing. If you can land exposes, it's like when you go in for Malak. If you use Malak in dark side TB and you drain all their health, you'll see just ridiculous numbers that he just drains. So the exposes are going to do massive damage in helping your rebel teams. He does bring, I think, defensive penetration to the Galactic Republic. Synergizes real well with the Ewoks too. So if your Ewoks stand a chance in this TB that comes up, he could play a huge role in that. So something to consider. Just a great all-around support unit. Those confuses are going to come in handy. He brings the AoE assist with him and gives everybody extra crit chance and all sorts of other benefits with the translation. So yeah, just a great character. And when writing this, for some reason I overlooked Jedi Knight Revan. He would definitely be on this list in the top 5. So apologies there, guys. So Jedi Knight Revan is honorable mention.
We did actually right before the show, Maurice did change the list to put Jedi Knight Revan in the list because we kind of overlooked that. But it was too late at that point. I already wanted to go live, so we didn't change the list. But he would have been on here for sure. So Jedi Knight Revan definitely deserves an honorable mention. Probably a top spot. Maybe in the top 3. So he's somebody who could be on here too. But that is our top 5 for this week. Top 5 light side GOTB characters upcoming. We'll take a look in the future when the GOTB comes out and see, down the road, if we were right about some of these characters, I'm sure all of them will have some relevance, but depending on what characters do come out over the next couple months, there could be some adjusting. Also, depending on the reworks and things like that, I think we may see some more clones on here, if we make this list a few months from now. So we'll see what happens. But, if you do like this kind of thing, and you do like, people, ranking on my mods, please do like the video, because it makes me feel good. And also, subscribe to the channel. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do the part of the show where we do kind of interact with some of the... I like to interact as much as possible throughout the show. We do have a pretty big panel, so it's great to get this conversation going with us. But, what's important, about every live show is, being able to, answer questions and discuss topics that you guys want to talk about. So anything that you guys want to discuss, any questions that you have, any questions that have been asked already, we'll discuss those now. So if you want to talk about anything, just type it into the chat and we'll try to get to it here before the end of the show. But we'll go back to some gameplay, and I believe I have like 4 minutes left to get, everything done in the game. So I have to go do that. But what's the first question, Maurice? What do we have?
First question incoming from Hans Omar Van Harold Duerte. What do you guys know about the Grand Arena? Did they fix the issue, or are they testing, or what? They did make a post, Hans, about some of the changes that they are making. You're not going to be able to... Allegedly, you're not going to be playing cross-division matches anymore. That's something they said they've switched. They're continuing to work on the matchmaking. And then I think they're also working on the cheating aspect of it as well. A few players in the top spots across some of the divisions looks to be removed from the game. No guild, very low arena ranks. There are steps being made. I don't think they're going to be very open in public if they do fix the cheating. I think it's just something they're going to fix, and it probably won't know until it's done. So yeah, they're continuing to tweak it. I mean, don't be surprised if the matchmaking and whatnot is tweaked even further.
I would say that most of the time, like Maurice said, they're probably not going to make any grand announcements about what they're doing, because they really don't want to announce to the people that are cheating like how they're going to be catching you, right? But what I think, if you look at it, if they can't fix the problem, because they removed a game mode from this game because of this a while back. So tournaments disappeared. So if they're going to, if they can't fix it and they still want to keep the Grand Arena Championships, they're not going to get rid of that. Then what they have to do then is they have to find a better way to at least catch the people that are cheating. So even if it's still going to be able to happen, if they're able to now dedicate a little bit more either resources to it, or actually have a better system for tracking the cheating, then they may be able to deal out some punishments for it that will kind of not prevent people from doing it, but make it less likely that people are going to do it because they're going to be afraid of the consequences. So that's kind of, I think, the angle that they have to take if they can't stop it. But did they flat out say that they're going to stop it, or did they say that they figured out a fix, or is it just that they're going to be making adjustments and they're going to figure it out over time?
I think it was
more like over time. I think there's not going to be any one big fix at all with that, because there's no way to do it unless they can test it out themselves. So it's going to be probably in increments over time as they release one part of it. They take a look at it, look at the stats, look at what they could do, and then they might tweak it some more and be able to figure out some other way to be able to track it.
Yeah, they said they're bringing in outside help too. I don't know if it was just a rumor being passed around the community or if it was official. I can't remember now. But they said that it was rumored that they have brought in Apex Legends team members and guys that have worked in other games to try to help them nip it in the bud. So we'll see. It's got to be patient with that. It's not going to happen overnight. I think the big to-do about it all is kind of calm down a little bit. This first Grand Arena might be a little witch honey with the reports and stuff, so if you guys do suspect somebody is cheating, just please go in and look at their roster and just like don't just instantly report them because they beat your butt. Like just go in there and make sure they're like, okay, well, I don't know how he beat my Darth Revan. And like you like, oh well, his Grievous has 70% crit chance. He's got a Zedon IPD. Maybe that's how he did. Just really do take the time to look through because before you report, because not only are you possibly putting an honest player in jeopardy, you're also bogging down whoever's in charge of looking through those reports and looking through stuff. So do make sure that it's a legitimate complaint. Don't just be like a salty loser and just report somebody because you didn't think you could lose. So, I mean, I don't know. Just I don't know. It's gonna be. I just hope it doesn't get witch honey. Is all.
Yeah, it will be. It will be, and it'll be bottlenecked for a while because people are just going to report no matter what. Oh well, he should not have been able to beat me, or I'm just mad because he beat me. He should not have won. And I've put on Grand Arena. I've put Revan, Darth Revan, Padme, Geos, all that stuff on defense, and still won. So, and I mean, and even if they put like Darth Revan on defense, I'll skip that because I obviously put my good stuff on defense. But I'll like one-shot spot everything else because of what I have left. Did I cheat? Oh, heck no. I just made sure that of what I have for the roster and what I had left over was able to pull it off. But I wasn't able to take down a Darth Revan. So.
And that's the thing. There are a lot of Darth Revan counters now, guys. There's quite a few. There are probably a good many you guys have never even seen. Like the top guilds, the very, very top TW type guilds, I'm sure they have something up their sleeve that you guys don't even know about yet. I don't know about, so.
I do.
Yeah, what I'm saying? I'm sure you guys got a super secret, some sort of counter that nobody knows about.
Secrets.
Yeah, so we'll see. Next question comes from Grim. So what are you guys going to do when Jar Jar is released?
He's not being released, so nothing to worry about.
Wow. Well, that's when the gang all gets together, like Rose and Jar Jar and
you don't know that. You don't know
Robot
that.
And all those.
They could totally
that was
release.
Grim being like semi-trolly and Ranger just instantly shutting it down.
Listen. When I thought about them bringing C-3PO into the game, and I thought to myself like this isn't really possible, right? But it was. You know what I mean? So I'm sure they'll find a way to bring Jar Jar into the game at some point.
Oh, I'm sure they will. But I just don't think it's coming yet.
God, if that's the Malak style event, oh yikes!
Oh, God.
Oh my God! Yeah, how annoying!
Sweet baby Jesus, no.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to be as annoying as possible.
Nathaniel Morgan, how do I beat garbage teams like First Order if they nerf Rex Lead? Ewoks are overkill. Your Ewoks aren't beating my First Order. I'll tell you that right now. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, he's getting that for. I think I've done Ewoks against First Order with Wampin a lot just for fun. So I mean, Wampin with Ewoks is ridiculous.
I will say, in the higher EP tiers, the Rex League really is not doing much for me anymore. Anyway,
right? No, yeah,
like, it's not. I'm very hesitant to use it. At no point am I like, yes, let's use Rex. It's like, it's like an emergency back row. Maybe Rex and Wampin can take it out. I think he's going to be a pretty key part to this new clone team. Whether or not he's the lead, we'll see. But I don't think if you guys are relying on him as a type of all-purpose leader, I would go ahead and start looking elsewhere for options. I think his kit's going to be a lot different, very similar to the way they did HK. Still a decent lead, but nowhere near as effective as it is.
You think they'll ever bring back Danger Zone?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I can see that.
I can totally see Danger Zone coming back.
Well, hey, if you if you want to gear 13 your bigs and put like 140 speed set on them, they're still pretty good. It's like they're still all right.
The day that the new Top Gun comes out, they should rework the Danger Zone team. They have Top Gun 2s coming out. Something about something Maverick.
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone. I used to listen to that song. I used to work in a call center, and I used to listen to that song with the guy who sat next to me every morning before we started making phone calls. We were just like, kind of like Gone in 60 Seconds, but listen to like Lowrider. We would just listen to Danger Zone, and then get ready to make phone calls. Just thought I'd share that with you guys.
My dad wore that cassette tape soundtrack all the way out. Like
my dad did too. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That was a good song.
Wouldn't rock it out, and then the Daddy Maurice mobile. Something was wrong. Got to get that Kenny Loggins in. All right. This one comes from Cole. What do you guys think a new raid will be?
We're not getting a new raid for a while.
Death Star.
That's what I would think. If it's got to be a ship one, maybe that's the only one.
If they could introduce new ships and get that, I think that would be a smart play, right? But as in a raid itself, I mean,
Death Star.
Maybe Death Star would be good. One or two. You want the first or the second?
Wouldn't it be cool if you had a final battle like inside the Death Star core with like, let's say, some TIE fighters? I mean, you couldn't do it, right? Because it's a capital ship. So,
almost there.
Yeah.
Just a little further.
I don't know how they would do that. I mean, I remember seeing clips a long time ago of like ships without the capital ships in battles, but I can't really talk about that.
I don't know about you guys, but when I face this negotiator in the TB, it's got some move. I have a seizure every time it does it. Like it shakes the screen and like the.
I don't like that. Down. Yeah, that bugs me. I can just see people.
I got to take a step back for the phone.
I just start crying because I just saw one of my ships get one shot at him.
Yeah,
that's true.
Wait, where did my houses go? Depression.
Here, you guys have to use these 3 Geonosis ships in your starting lineup. Oh, okay. Quickest fleet battle ever. That mission. Just go in there, just like,
I could see a Star Killer base raid, like he's saying here in the chat too. I could see a Star Killer base. You know what would be cool too would be, we may get something. I mean, listen, this next movie could save this whole thing if he does it right. So I mean, like, listen, if this movie is awesome, and there's a location from that movie, and there's a big battle at the end, I mean, that could be the new raid. I mean, they could literally take it from there, or, I mean, listen, we got so much Star Wars content coming. I mean, they just announced, and this is huge. Ewan McGregor's gonna come back for Kenobi series on the Disney streaming service.
Would be great.
So that's gonna be awesome. I mean, there's gonna be there's definitely gonna be Darth Maul on there. There's going to be some cool stuff. I mean, again, do I think they're doing like some General Kenobi themed raid? No, but I mean, I think they could take it from anywhere in the canon. I mean, they could do an Old Republic raid on Malachor 5. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like,
there's lots of ways they can go.
That would be a cool way to bring in the mass shadow generator and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if they could do it I'm just saying they could do a lot of different things. I still think that we're getting, for sure, Endor TB at some point, though. I think that's happening.
Well, whatever the new raid is going to be, it will be the next wave of content. I think all these little waves they do seem to have some sort of PvE content with them, and I think we've gotten the clone PvE content. I don't think the raid would be clone era oriented.
So it could be that. I mean, Endor could be part of, like, let's say a Death Star raid, right? Because I mean, that's really part, like, the end of that movie. I mean, is half like Endor, half Death Star. So what I'm saying is, like, they could have like a ground assault on Endor as part of the Death Star raid, and then have ship battles as part of the Death Star raid. So they could totally do the Death Star, and they could make it awesome, I mean, but and we've been talking. I mean, I doubt that there isn't going to be some sort of Death Star related large event that gets dropped in this game before the end of the game when the servers go down at some point.
I don't think we have enough ships yet. Like, I think we still need probably at least half a dozen more ships for they consider a 4-wave type of ship raid. I mean, we're getting a negotiator. Malevolence, we'll probably have to get that first, just for no other reason, just from depth. From a depth, we don't even have. What do we have? 4. This will be the 4th capital ship, 5th capital ship. So
We got.
I mean, if you got waves in a raid, I mean, you're gonna leave one on the bench, and two of them are locked behind huge walls. You know, Chimera, you have to earn, and then the Negotiator, you got to get through this long, tedious grind through the Guild Event Store /2 episode, whatever it's called, that get to currency.
We got a donation from Blaze a little bit ago. I just want to go over it. He donated $5 saying, "Arena bores me. I do my too. Grand Arena Championships is awesome. I love it. Excited it's coming back. I didn't think it would be this soon, though. First, second, Night Sister. It says first, second, Night Sister to Gear 12.
Yes.
Okay, so that's awesome. That's awesome. Good job. Yeah, I mean, Grand Arena Championships is pretty cool, and, it's also kind of more vast than Arena, so it's going to bring in, a lot of the more competitive players. And I do think, like Maurice was saying a little bit earlier, that they're kind of trying to transition into Grand Arena Championships as like the main thing over Arena. I think they want you to kind of, start to forget about Arena a little bit. So
yeah, unfortunately.
That's probably going to be happening, so we'll see. I mean, but yeah, definitely thank you for the donation, and I agree. Arena is kind of boring right now. I hope that they do something to liven that up, but I can't imagine them spending any resources on the Arena right now.
Right.
So we'll see. But next question.
Baby Herman. Are the Zetas for GK?
Do you know who Baby Herman is?
Is that from Howard the Duck?
No. Baby Herman is from Roger Rabbit.
Huh.
You know who framed Roger Rabbit? There were also cartoons, and one of the cartoons before the movies used to be, the Baby Herman. Where Baby Herman's like really he's like a baby in a movie, like he's like a baby.
It's a guy. He has a grown man, but is.
He plays
like
a baby. Like he plays a baby in the cartoons that they do. It's like as if when they're offset with Roger Rabbit, Baby Herman's just a guy walking around smoking a cigar. But then when the cameras are on, he's just like a little baby, like crying, and he doesn't talk, But it's Baby Herman, yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. I want you on my trivia team for 90s pop culture night.
Actually, the movie came out in 1989.
Are the Zetas for GK, Anakin, and Ahsoka worth it to use with Padme?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, that leadership Padme Zeta marries you to GK. It depends if you're using it specifically to counter Darth Revan. If that's your goal with it, you'll want one on Anakin, maybe not Ahsoka. If you're looking for it to counter, just be a solid team. I think Ahsoka's is more valuable than Anakin's. But Anakin is definitely worth it if you're almost mandatory if you're fighting Darth Revan. So very good Zetas. All of those three you mentioned there are going to be probably key parts in the next ship meta. So if you put the Zeta on the ships, they will be better. Ahsoka's is a very underrated ship. Anakin's one of the best ships in the game, and GK will be the new capital ship. So it's like a dual. You get double the money for your investment there. So I would go with yes, all over the place. GK, probably Padme leader first, then GK. What do you guys think? I mean, what do you guys think the first three?
I think the first three that I did was the two for Padme and then Anakin, and then Kenobi's. I think Ahsoka for me was last. I think that's the order I went with.
I think Anakin's number one, right? I would say.
No.
No?
Leadership for Padme, then Anakin.
Oh, no, I didn't know you were talking about Padme too. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Padme for sure, yeah.
Yeah. You need the at least for me to make the team go, it was leadership for Padme, then I did. Actually, I think I did Padme's first two, and then I did Anakin, and then Kenobi, then Ahsoka. It just made sense for how the team kind of builds up. But once you get Padme done, I mean,
I got both Zetas on her right now, but I just don't have her geared up yet. I mean, you're gonna want to put probably both on her at some point, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just going back to what Blaze was asking, he was asking a question. He was saying he wanted to know which Night Sisters he should gear up first and second. That's what he was asking.
I would say with your leader in
to gear 12. So you got to decide whether you're going to run a Asajj-led team or a Mother Talzin-led team. You're really going to want to probably have both Zetas on each one just so you can interchange for different types of teams. But, I mean, for now, just pick one. And then, you're going to want to probably get that character to gear 12. So either Asajj or Mother Talzin, and then I'd say Old Daka, like Maurice said.
Do make sure you got Zombie at gear 10, I believe it is, to get that last unique unlocked. That was pretty important. That was their fix to the Paper Zombie, which I think was a good fix. It was an effective fix because no one has Paper Zombie anymore. So it's,
Yeah.
If you have a Zeta on Talzin right now, then I would get Talzin to gear 12 first, work on Daka, and then I'd go for Asajj after that.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Spirit's up there too. Spirit is very, very good, but Spirit seems to be a little more in game because Spirit doesn't have too much like a raid use. A lot of people develop their Night Sisters for the raid, so yeah. We got Herman. We got out of the way. We got that question done. Next comes from Jedi Gunny. What's up, man? Die or die. What is the panel's thoughts of no general content in the game? Not fun to sim everything every day. Over in Marvel Strike Force, there's in-game content that unlocks Ultron. Love to see a similar game mode in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
It's there to sim. You can actually do the content, but I mean, we've got GAC and we've got GOTV. We're about to get light side GOTV.
That's enough content for the moment.
I mean, that's
up a lot of time.
Yeah, it's time consuming. The other stuff you can actually do, like you could do GW battles, you can do the battles. Most people don't have time to do the battles and stuff, and it is a little bit monotonous once you do it a few times.
I would say what he really means, because I've spoken with Gunny about this in chat. I think what he really means is not that there's a lack of content. There is definitely not a lack of content. We have too much content of anything in this game, but I think it's a lack of meaningful content is what he really
meaningful
means.
Content.
Okay. You know what I mean? Like it's more of a lack of like stuff that, I mean, instead of just getting a GOTB and the Grand Arena Championships, which are really just reskinned versions of games that we've already had in this game. Do you know what I mean? Like what he's talking about is like a new thing, something out of the box thinking, like a new. Like a new event or a new game mode or like kind of like when they brought ships into the game, it was like a whole new thing, like something like that.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Now, they did say in the Q&A, like of course the big top. I think Goodfoot asked about it in a second, but the question is always give us a sandbox mode, and every time they're like no, and that's what they said this time. But somebody did ask them a question. What are y'all's thoughts, on, I mean, paraphrasing, this is not a direct quote, but what are y'all's, thoughts on making GW like a survival, endless type of horde mode? And they did respond positively to that, saying that's something they've looked into, and it's very interesting. So that could change in the future. Maybe we get, GW gets kind of reworked, and we get you get to play like Gears of War, or anything like a horde mode, or just like an endless mode where you just fight waves and waves and waves and waves of enemies. It'd get tedious, it'd just get repetitive, just like every other game mode. But it would be something different. It would be different. Maybe effectively test your teams. I mean, if your team only got to wave 13 this week, maybe next week you get to gear 15. You can kind of see, or not gear level 50. Just kind of see the progress of your team. Because that is really what we lack. Somewhere to test things without costing ourselves a Grand Arena or our guild a TW.
Yeah.
Like you're always risking something to test stuff now. So we'll see. That is something I think would be cool. It's completely optional. You could sim it like you do now, or just continue to play it over until your little heart's content. So that would be something that'd be cool. And yeah, Goodfoot here is asking how long. Oh, this is actually a different question. How long after a movie is released do we see characters? Jedi Knight Rey for the Malak style event?
I'm trying to remember. I think did she come out? before the movie. The
That's
event,
what I was trying to remember.
Her event, Jedi Training Rey's event came out the week after the movie release. So it came out like during the week of, it came out during Christmas week.
Okay.
So
I'm trying to remember.
That's right.
It was
Yeah, we always get like an ancillary character or two that they introduce. This has been the pattern for the previous movies, and then the main characters cannot come out, I don't think, until the release of the movie. They can't do anything with them for reasons, for spoilers and things of that nature. So
I remember they had a deal with Walmart at the time where you could buy if you bought a $100 gift card from Walmart, you would get a free Scavenger Ray in the game. So you get a full 7-star Scavenger Ray, and a bonus 3,000 crystals. I remember I did that. So I already had Scavenger Ray at 7 stars, but I got all the Shard Shop currency, and I got 3,000 extra crystals, and then I used the $100 to buy a vault, so I could get the Rey Jedi Training ready, and that actually got me done with Han and Chewie, the smugglers. So that helped me get them done. So it was around that Christmas time of that year when they released. When the game first started, when the game started in 2016, 2015, the Kylo Ren pack and the release of Rey and all those characters from the original Force Awakens movie happened the day of the movie. So Kylo Ren was dropped on the day of the release, and the pack was in the store, and then they had that bundle for Kylo Ren and Finn.
That's when I very first started the game, because I got like a free Phasma and First Order Stormtroopers, or one of the two characters. I got like an unlock for free. I started like 2 or 3 weeks after launch, and all that stuff was in the store.
Phasma and Poe were available they were available for iOS or Android like a month in advance of the movie, basically.
Well, we got Executioner real early last time for the last movie. I think we got like Executioner super early.
Well, we got Executioner pretty early. We got also Chirrut and Baze came out before Rogue One.
Yeah, Chirrut was a tournament. Jin was too. Yeah.
So was Cassian. All of them were. We also got the TIE Advanced out of a tournament, and Short Trooper. Right, so we got these characters probably they started to come out about 3 weeks in advance of the movie, right? And with The Last Jedi, we also got Scarif Rebel Pathfinder a few months in advance, and Biston, and some other characters, and then they gave out before the movie came out. We also got a free. Jesus, I forgot his name now.
Thank you, Darth Revan 1023 says December 15th, 2017 was the JTR release. It's listed on the SWGOH events page. Thank you. Looking that up for us.
Yeah, we got a free K2SO for Android, right? So that came out.
Yeah, they threw Bodhi Rook right into the shop.
Right.
Where he's in Galactic War. So maybe with the release of a new movie, we could potentially get a free character or two. Free as in you still have to farm them, but like just immediately released for farming. So that seems to be the trend, because I know they did that with the First Order Stormtrooper for the first one. Like you said, K2SO and Biston and all these other characters came out before their respective movies, and everybody unlocked them. So hopefully we'll get at least a little generic character. Hopefully something for the Resistance. Or
I think we're getting that Sith Trooper, the Red Trooper. I think that's coming into the game for sure. That's already been announced, so they could feasibly release that way in advance, the Sith Trooper, and we're also. I would have to assume that we're going to get the Praetorian Guards and Snoke at some point, regardless of what role they play in the next film, if any at all. So I can see that happening though after the movie. I can see like us getting after the movie, like 2 or 3 months, they may just release Praetorian Guards and Snoke at one time, and just say here, get these characters.
Praetorian Guard would be a good candidate for just like a gimme character.
Yep.
Praetorian Guard would be a good character to give away. we're definitely getting another version of Kylo with his crystal mask. We're going to get a version of Rey as a Jedi with her Jedi robes and Luke's lightsaber. And I have a feeling that we're going to get another... I don't think we're going to get Luke, okay, because Luke is the hero's journey. I think we're going to get Jedi Luke from Return of the Jedi before we're going to get Old Man Luke. I don't think they're just going to give us Old Man Luke as a character from the movie. I don't think that's happening. I mean, maybe a Force Ghost. I mean, who knows? I mean, I've heard rumors. And now, the rumor mill is crazy for Star Wars. I mean, there's so many different theories out there. I've heard some things that indicate that, there's going to be some things that happen with Palpatine and possibly taking over another body or whatever. I've heard lots of things, but one thing that we have heard for a long time is that possibly the Force Ghost of Anakin will appear in the movie, and maybe Hayden Christensen will reprise his role as Anakin to be a Force Ghost and talk to Kylo Ren or Rey or somebody in the next movie. And that's actually, Hayden Christensen has been appearing at the Star Wars celebrations now every year for the last couple of years, and he's been doing a panel with Darth Sidious. I think that there's a chance that could happen. So, I mean, maybe we'll see our first Force Ghost character. I mean, maybe that's not out of the realm of possibility either. But again, I don't know if they're going to expand on that. I think the direction that Rian Johnson was going in was to show that Force Ghosts can affect the physical plane and that they can be like fighters, basically, just like other people. Like when you pass on into the Force, like you actually become a stronger being, and you can still fight like other people could. You could still, help out in a battle. And I would be surprised if they don't do at least a little bit of expansion on that. I have a feeling that whenever some form of Palpatine arrives, I think that Luke will be there in some way. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that, they have like a spiritual battle or something crazy like that, or if something happens. But I think that that there will be like some sort of a confrontation between Mark Hamill and Ian McDermott. Yeah, I mean, so we'll see.
All right, we got one more here. Good evening, folks. Nice DJ. Not quite sure what that means. All me is the asking person, the person asking the question. There we go. English is good. Heard something about the CG director suggesting something about farming Jawas. If so, are we screwed for the future? I'm pretty sure that was in jest. Mr. Dickinson seems to be quite the prankster, seems to have a good sense of humor. So I do think that was in jest. I don't remember the exact comment. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But
K2SO as a Zeta, because when that team first dropped, I put Zetas on all three characters. I Zeted Cassian, Jin, and K2SO, hoping that they would work together. I mean, we didn't really have anybody that had the characters. We didn't have our test accounts at that time. So I mean, I didn't know how good they would be, Zeta, all together, and it didn't end up panning out, obviously. But I put the effort into them. I got into Gear 11. I gave them all Zetas, and that team just was never what I wanted it to be. So didn't work out.
This is the question right here. What squads are you working on right now? He said, I recently worked through a Padme team and then the Geonosians. The current squad I'm working on is the Jawas, but a lot of my effort is going towards improving squads for the Geonosian territory battle. So he's working on the Jawas. Let's hope.
He's working on the Jawas for crit damage mods, or just for.
Well, I don't know why he would.
That's all he said. That was the whole answer. So,
well, there you go. Science working as intended.
So I mean, you guys can panic as much as you want. Me personally, if the Jawas do become meta, I'm not going to have them. So I'll have to catch it there. Too much to work on for me to be worried about that.
That's one I'm willing to not roll the dice on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if that happens, I think a lot of people will be unprepared for that.
I do have engineer at Gear 12, embarrassingly. That was That no longer works thanks to the HK rework. So Jaw Engineer is borderline worthless, but
that's ridiculous, right? I mean, I geared up my Jaw Engineer too. I mean, he's not gear 12 yet, but I got him to.
Just dated, man. Like when he came out, he was the supreme like turn meter facilitator. Now there's just so many other characters that there's still like he's not fast enough. Like you really got to deck him out with your top speed mods to still.
I was almost at gear 12. I was hoping that with the rework to Grievous, he would be relevant, but no. I started pumping gear to Jaw Engineer, hoping that I'd be able to use him, but gear 11.
Yeah.
So, do we have any more questions?
B. Masu did ask earlier. I didn't write it down, but he was congratulating you on being Zai's MVP for territory battles.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gom always thinks his teams don't get countered from Minato. Well, I mean, 85% of the time, my first order holds. That's where I gathered that data from. I didn't think it.
Science.
Yeah, it's a pretty good number.
Okay. Too bad all your numbers were erased.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine with me because I really pooped the bed on some Grand Arenas last tournament.
Prepare for more pooping, good old Maurice.
There was one I faced. I believe his name was. Oh God, I can't think of it exactly. It was Sasha's thumb thing, and he just thumped me good. I think I scored 920 points total. So that was embarrassing. But hey, it happens.
Yep.
So we can wipe those stats. That's fine with me. Yeah, it's good to go.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting now that these really count. They're not really skewed from the previous tournaments. Those hopefully will be better at determining what type of player you're playing. You can actually use those stats. So, yeah. That's pretty much all the questions I see. A couple people said Snow could be the next Malak event.
Which part? It's funny because he's dead and then.
I mean, yeah.
Jawas for bugs counter, yeah. Against Gear 12 bugs, maybe that does not work. Against Gear 13, unless you've got the good Jawas yourself. I learned that the hard way. 0 for 2 on Jawas against Gear 13 Brood Alpha. But
yeah. All right, guys.
That's about it, guys.
All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a stream. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us on Sunday night. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate, being the butt of everybody's jokes and all these things. It makes me feel real good inside. No,
because we love you.
No, in all seriousness, I definitely appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate all the donations tonight. Thank you to Blaze. Thank you to... I believe we got a donation from Minato Namikaze. We got a couple donations from both you guys very, very much. Also, very thank you to everybody for just contributing in the chat and keeping the chat live. That's really one of the best parts of this show is kind of being able to look over and see some of the things that you guys say. Thank you for everybody stopping by and hanging out with us. It's always fun, and we look forward to next week. We'll be back on Sunday, same time, same place. In the meantime, on Tuesday night, you can definitely check out the Operation Metaverse stream. The link is in the description of this video. Good old Maurice and TMoney will bring you the Galaxy's Edge with all the latest information, and they usually make some sort of theory crafting team that's able to beat Darth Revan or the meta that's currently there right now. So definitely make sure to check that out to see Maurice and TMoney on Tuesday night, and also on Wednesday night. Make sure to check out the Reality Skewed Gamers live show on their channel. That is also linked in the description as well. And on that channel, we also go live on Saturdays for the Jedi Academy. So to make sure to be there for all those things. Abby, do you guys have another podcast coming out or anything like that?
We've got one recorded, and we're working on the editing now. We've got like I think it's either going to be split into a 2 or 3-part series on Geonosis and TB.
Okay.
So that ought to be interesting, and you can check that out at Bobo's Alliance.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure to search Boba's Alliance on YouTube, and Eventually I'll have a link for that in the description as well. She just kind of started it recently, so as they get that going, we'll make sure to promote that as well. But definitely go check out the new podcast over there. I know she has a couple on the site already, and thank you to everybody for being a part of the show. And as always, we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. May the force be with you guys, and we'll see you then. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.